So um, if you guys have questions, I would ask you instead of doing the chat, because I have a hard time looking at multiple things, just go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your questions, or if you have comments, that that will make it easier on you. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I want to welcome you. I'm so excited that you saw um, the offering for this class and you decided to come and check out the information and give me your time and let me support you and your pets in your journey for better health. Um, my name is Sherry Willingham, and I am a passionate pet parent who has been on a real journey, and it's my mission to reach out to other pet parents and share what I've learned, because it's really remarkable. And it's so different from what we've been taught. And that's why I want to talk to you all. So the agenda, so you know what we're going to be talking about, my background and my passion, why a healthy pet is an unattractive host. Then we'll talk about what we have been told that we should use for our pets for preventatives, and the side effects and the risks of those products. We'll also go over heartworm medicine or products, and we'll talk about what the risks are for you and your animals. And then we'll talk about what the options are for natural products. So just a disclaimer, I am not a vet, and this does not replace proper medical advice. I am, however, a passionate pet parent. This is my boy Barney. He passed away in 2018, and it was on the journey of helping him and his health that I learned all the things that I'm going to be talking to you about. And all of the things that I explained to you that we're going to try and move away from are all things that I have done in the past. So this is a no judgment zone. This is just sharing what I've learned so that you can empower yourself and decide what you want to do. So I have no medical background, no education in that. I'm just self-taught. I do a lot of research. I talk to a lot of pet parents, and I basically have evidence-based research. So it's what I do and what I've seen other people do, and then we see what the results are from that. So then we know that it works. I have 2 grown children. I have a grandson, and my background is in computer systems with an aerospace company. But I've always really been interested in natural health in terms of food, being a supporter of health, and trying to stay away from toxins. I found these essential oils. The essential oils helped me through a difficult time when I was really sick. I had all kinds of antibiotics for 2 years. They didn't work. And these therapeutic, pharmaceutical grade essential oils helped get rid of this illness that I had. And it really opened my eyes to how important it is for us to keep our immune systems strong. With a strong immune system, our bodies are able to fight off illness. And so I transposed that onto animals, and I've been doing it myself with my animals for 4 years, and talking about talking to other pet parents about doing it for 3 years. And I've talked to thousands of pet parents. And I know that we all want to do the absolute best for our animals. I know I did, but I only knew what I knew. And when I found out that some of the things that I was doing for my boy and then my other rescues, some of those things were actually hurting him. And when we find that out, we feel guilty, but we can only know what we know. And so I just want to share this information with you, and hopefully it'll resonate and give you some ideas to look into. And then if the essential oils sound like something that would be helpful, then we can talk about that. So let's talk about a healthy pet. Strong immune system. How do we get a strong immune system? We have limited processed food or fresh food. And that's really hard because when we talk to the vet, what we hear is no table scraps, no fresh food, just the kibble. And what I have found, and I'm connected to a lot of people around the world who are doing the same thing, is that the fresh food actually helps with 90% of the issues that our animals are having, because it's something that we give them every single day. So a healthy pet has a strong immune system, and it starts with the food. Okay. I always tell people, before we talk about anything else, I want you to go watch a movie called Pet Fooled. It's a 1-hour documentary. It talks about the pet food industry and helps you understand how to read the label on the pet food bag and understand what the marketing is, because that's what it is. And then you can go from there with the food, okay? The next thing when we're talking about a strong immune system is being responsible with vaccinations. We're not talking about anti-vax. We're talking about being knowledgeable of the vaccinations and how they affect the animals. And when they combine the vaccinations, how much that stresses the immune system. And so if for some reason your animal needs to have 3 different vaccinations, instead of giving them all at one time, you want to spread them out just to make it easier on their immune systems. And then the last thing for a healthy pet is limiting the toxins. So we talk about reducing toxic load. And that's internally, which is the stuff that we give them, like the topical chews for the pest prevention, the food that has GMO ingredients, which are the pesticides that they put on the plants, that then the plants are eaten by the animals that they use for the food, or the plants have the toxins on them that are used to go in the food. And so that's weakening the immune system. The products that we use in our house have toxins in them that stress the immune system. Air fresheners, we all want to have a really nice smelling, fragrant home. And most of the things that are sold are synthetic fragrance, which is a whole other class that I could do on the products that have the synthetic fragrance. And all of those things are stressing our immune system, our pet's immune system. And so getting away from those things is going to help strengthen our pet's immune system. And that's what we want. So these are the different products that we use. We have the the internal chews, we have the topical application. Um, there's this HeartGuard powder. And so what we're doing is we're putting pesticides, insecticides, and poisons on our animals to protect them. And so if you look at all those words together, it really doesn't make sense. And that's why I'm here, because it doesn't make sense. And so we're going to talk about what that really means. Okay. So how these products work is not how I understood them to work. I figured if I put the stuff on my animal, it would keep the critters away. But in fact, what happens either topically or internally is the pesticides go into the animal's body, circulate through the bloodstream and the organs and everything, and then they settle in the muscle tissue. So when the flea or tick or mosquito bites the skin, they get some of that toxin into their system. It's a neurotoxin. It paralyzes them. It messes with their brain and they die. So the first thing to know about this is that these little critters have to bite the animal in order to be gotten rid of, which is a problem, because if we're worried about Lyme disease and the tick has to bite the dog in order for it to die, well, that bite, they've already got the Lyme disease. So it's not even working the way we would want it to work. It's also putting poison in all of their organs, and that's where the real problem is. Okay, so these are some of the symptoms of pesticide poisoning. Some of them are minor, and then some of them are really critical. I know that I have talked to my vet and told him that I didn't want to do these products because of the neurological issues. And he told me that he's been practicing for 25 years and he's never seen an animal react to any of these products. And I think that a lot of vets would say that same thing. The problem with that is that I know that there are a lot of animals who have had serious issues, including death, as a result of these products. And so why they don't make the connection, or they don't think that it's a real thing, I don't know. But as you'll see, even the FDA knows that it's a problem. And I don't know, Kaz, what are they called in Australia? I know you don't have an FDA, but I'm sure that you have some sort of regulatory agency for your drugs.
The TGA, therapeutic goods.
Okay. They're all different. And I know that Europe is far, far ahead of the United States in terms of being on top of limiting toxins. But these are some of the symptoms of pesticide poisoning. So that's good to know. So this is the real issue right here. There have been enough animals who have had negative reactions to these products that the FDA in 2018 came out with this warning. And it said that some of these products have the potential to cause neurological issues. It's a big industry. They make a lot of money, and we all know that the money drives everything. So they didn't take any of these products off the market. What they did was they told the manufacturers that they needed to include a caution label, kind of like with cigarettes. This product may cause lung cancer. Same thing with this. But they gave them 2 years to update their packaging. And as of the last time I did this class, which was a couple months ago, NextGuard was the only company that had done it. So it's not this one or that one, or, you know, this one's okay, but that one's not. It's all of them because they all contain poison. That's how they get rid of the ticks and fleas. So we're talking about Simparica, NextGuard, Brevecto, Credelio. You may have some other names in Australia, but they're all para-insecticides. And that's what gets into the neurological system of not only the little critters, but also of our animals. And that's where the problem lies. So I talked about this. They finally put a label on it. But even my vet didn't know about it. And so he is selling this stuff. He is recommending this stuff. He's prescribing this stuff. And he doesn't even know that they put this warning label on it. Okay, so then there's the Seresto collar. People say, okay, well, I'm not going to do that, but the Seresto collar is safe. It has a different set of poisons on it, but you have to think of where all of those poisons go. So not only is it on your animal's neck, but it's everywhere your animal touches, where they lay down. I'll show you. So this picture on the left shows this poor puppy that had this horrible reaction to the toxins from the Seresto collar. The one on the right is a pet owner's leg after her pet had laid on her leg with the collar and she was wearing pants. So it went through. So the toxins in the Seresto collars are equally dangerous. Okay. So then we talk about fleas and what is the danger of fleas? They're very annoying. Once you have fleas going on, it's really hard to stop them. It's a lot of cleaning and washing and irritating. A lot of our animals have the flea allergy, dermatitis. So they are allergic to, I guess it's called the saliva of the flea. And so it just really puts them into a state of systemic itching. Some animals that are kept outside and you know, don't have somebody taking care of them, if they have enough fleas, they can get anemic. And then there's the tapeworms that they can get from the flea eggs. So it's good to keep your animal as an unattractive host so that the fleas don't want to set up house with them. But in the long term, the danger to the animal from a flea is not life-threatening. All right. Then we'll talk about ticks. So Karen, this is something that you were interested in. Do you have ticks where you are, Kaz?
Yes, and I actually have Lyme's disease myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we can talk about that later because we've had a lot of a lot of people in our group. So let me just tell you, the essential oils and the products are made for people. And that's how I started using them, was for myself. And then I realized, oh, I can use them for my pets too. And so we have more groups of people talking about how to use them for people's health than we have for people talking about using them for pets' health. So we have a lot of information on different, more natural things you can do to help your body fight the Lyme disease.
Yep.
Okay. So one of the things that is interesting to me, and I like to share with my pet parents, is if we're talking about using a product every month, which I did, I gave my pups their flea and tick medication every month, like a good pet owner. I lived in Southern California. I lived down here. They're rare. Actually, I never saw a tick when I was in Southern California. So I really like to talk about what is the risk factor where you are. What's the risk factor for fleas? What's the risk factor for ticks? And then, you know, this says rare, Karen, but where you are specifically, you said that they're a problem. So, you know, it depends on where you are, but you need to know that. And that will help you determine what course you're going to take. Okay, so this just talks about the different tick-borne diseases. And hopefully, Kaz, you have something like this where you are. This is North America. It talks about the geographic distribution of these specific ticks and what the consequences or what the potential diseases are from these different ticks.
Yes, we have that. I actually live in a low tick area,
Okay.
but up in Queensland's very high tick area. So,
okay. Okay, good. All right. So one of the things that's really interesting, there's actual research on PubMed.gov. This is another American thing, where they showed that turmeric oil taken internally helps prevent tick attachment. So they did studies where they had a blanket, and I don't know if they had a dog or not. I kind of hope they don't. And with the turmeric oil, the ticks were not attracted. So that's something for an area where there are a lot of ticks, is that giving the turmeric oil internally, like a drop a day with the food, for instance, would help with keeping the ticks from wanting to attach. Okay, now heartworm prevention and treatment. I live in Florida, and there are a lot of mosquitoes here, a lot. Karen and Kaz, do you have a lot of mosquitoes where you are?
yes, lots of them here.
Okay.
Not too many in Arkansas.
Mm. You're
Just the
lucky.
ticks.
Okay. Okay. So the risk of heartworm is so much lower than what we have been led to believe, and especially for animals who are taken care of the way we take care of our animals. A lot of these pups that we see that have these horrible heartworm infestations are dogs that are left outside all day, all night, every day. And so they have the potential for being bitten by one of these mosquitoes that carries the heartworm larva. And I'm going to walk you through all of the things that have to happen in order for the mosquito to be able to infect an animal with heartworm. Sorry, I'm going to have to read this because I don't know this one by heart because I don't use this stuff. So heartworm drugs are not harmless. And there was, I think it's called ProGuard, that that vets were giving animals. It was a 6-month ProGuard 6, I think it was called. And it was pulled off of the market because it had so many bad side effects. And so just last year, they came out with a new one. It's ProGuard 12. So it's a 12-month heartworm protection, which makes it even doubly wrong to give to our animals. So the other thing that's really important is that you need to have a heartworm test done before giving your animal any sort of preventative treatment, because if they are heartworm positive and they get the preventative treatment, they can get even more sick. These are insecticides, just like the rest of them, and they don't actually prevent anything. They just kill what's there. All right, so this one blew my mind when I saw this. Only certain mosquitoes can transmit heartworm to your dog. So these mosquitoes have to be female. They have to be a specific species. So not all mosquitoes, just certain species. And these species allow the development of worms in the cell of the body. They have to be a species that feeds on mammals, and not all of them do. And then they must have bitten an animal that's infected with stage 1 heartworm 2 weeks prior, because it takes 14 days for the larva from the other animal to develop to stage 3 inside the transmitting mosquito and then bite your dog. So you can see that there are a lot of ifs. It's not something like, oh, your dog's outside and there are mosquitoes, your dog's going to get heartworm. That's not true. There are a lot of criteria that have to happen. It's not every mosquito. So the other thing about the transmission of heartworm is that it has to be the right temperature. And it has to be the right temperature during that period of time when the heartworm larvae are developing, between stage L1 and stage L3. And it's a 2-week period. And if the temperature dips below 57 degrees, then the larva dies. So being mindful of, you know, what the temperature is where you are is also, will also predict, you know, what type of risk you're at. And then of course, if you live in a dry climate, you're much less likely. And then there are these type of maps for, you know, all over the world that they do a prediction of what the risk is. So you can see, like in the blue areas, it's 0. Down here where I am in the yellow, which is still Florida, and it's a lot of Florida, and there's a lot of mosquitoes here, it's 1% to 1.5%. So I just have my animals tested every 4 months or so to make sure that they are heartworm negative, and they are. So we're good. Okay, I just always have to throw this out there because a lot of people think that Dawn dish soap is a great remedy for fleas, and it's really not. Even the company says that this is not meant for flea treatment, especially on little tiny kittens and puppies. It's blue, and who knows what chemicals are in there. It is used on animals, on wildlife whose lives are at risk. And if they don't get the oil off of them, they will die. So the blue is okay. But for pets, there are other options that are far safer than Dawn. So if you ever hear anybody talk about it, I share this graphic a lot. Okay, so what can you use to help keep the pests away? Talked about the strong immune system that starts with a species appropriate diet. When they have that, they have gut health, and gut health is 80% of the immune system, and reducing the environmental toxins, the internal and external toxins that are used in the home and for the flea and tick prevention. And I use essential oils. I use them for everything. I use them for cleaning, air freshening, flea spray. The flea spray is my spray. I use it when I take the dogs on a walk to keep the mosquitoes away from me as well as from them. Karen and Kaz, can you tell me if you are familiar with essential oils?
Yes, I'm a massage therapist, so I use them.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, I use essential oils for a lot of things,
Oh,
cleaning and
good.
body and personal and everything. Yeah.
Oh, good. Can I ask both of you what brand you use?
I use a mix of different ones. Perfect Potion is one that's in Australia.
Okay.
I've also used doTERRA and Young Living before as well.
Okay. So you're
I use a
familiar.
mixture of a bunch of different ones also, mostly just organic ones.
Okay. So here's my spiel about that. I can only recommend doTERRA, and I only use doTERRA. And doTERRA is the number one essential oil company in the world. It's used in medical research. It's used in hospitals. And the reason for all of those things is because it's the most tested. So the purity is unsurpassed. The oils are made in batches, and the results of the tests of the oils are available to the public. We have there's a website, sourcetoyou.com, and there's a batch number on the bottle, the bottom of every bottle. And so you can take that batch number and go to the website and see the actual test results from 5 different tests that they did on that batch, and the chemist and all of that. So just got to throw that out there, because quality really makes a difference. And being able to depend on quality from one batch to another really matters. So the first oil that I use in my spray is TerraShield. It's the outdoor blend. It's the blend of essential oils that they made to use outside to keep the little critters away. The next one is cedar wood. That one's great because it kills the flea eggs. So if you're in an area where there's a lot of flea activity, you want cedar wood to kill the eggs in case they're around. As both of you know, the great thing about the essential oils is that you get them for this one purpose and you can use them for 25 others. So cedar wood is fantastic for calming, skin issues, UTIs, and so forth. Lemongrass is another one that's really, really good for preventative. Bugs just do not like the smell of lemongrass. So that's one that I always put in my spray. And I like also to use it for massage, muscle discomfort. And I use that on my older dog who has, she's going to be 13. She's a shepherd. She's creaky. Okay, peppermint oil. This is a great one. If you have cats in your home, you don't want to use this one in a spray for them. It's just not recommended for cats, but it's a great preventative to put in the spray for the dogs and for yourself, because just like lemongrass, the little critters do not like peppermint. It's a great way to get rid of ants or any other type of little bug that is in your home, spiders, ants. It's a great way to get them to leave without using any sort of noxious chemical. Okay, we talked about turmeric. Turmeric is great. I've made golden paste for my shepherds. It's really, really anti-inflammatory, has anti-cancer properties. Note pancreatitis or gallbladder issues that you don't want to use this one. And then lavender is a fantastic oil to put in your repellent. It's another one, you know, the little bugs, they just don't like these particular plants. And lavender is one that I use all the time. It's great for the pets and for myself. Citronella, we all know about citronella, the citronella candles and all the different products that have been around for years. The citronella is a great oil to put in your spray bottle for the insect repellent, and then you can use it for all these other things. You can even put it in some Castile soap and use it as a shampoo for your dog to keep the critters away. And then the last one is lemon eucalyptus. And this one I make sure that I always have in my spray, because this is the one that works against mosquitoes. It's more effective than DEET, which we know not to use, and it lasts for up to 4 hours. So this is a great one for any of the mosquito areas. So 3 ways to purchase. Retail, we never ever have anyone buy retail. Wholesale is the best way to do it. I help people get set up with a kit that meets their needs, and they get the kit at 25% off. And then if you get that wholesale account, then you can order each month and accumulate points for free product. And I was just talking to one of my customers today who hadn't used her points. I don't know, she's been a customer for about a year, and she had 400 points. And she was like, what do I do with this? And I said, well, buy all the stuff that that you haven't gotten. I mean, those are some nice rewards, $400 worth of product just for buying product. Okay, and then what you can expect from me, this is my passion. This is what I do every day. I talk to people, I research, I learn more. I learn more about, what other issues can come up that we can help. And so I am, with my customers, I am available one-on-one because I know how important it is when our animals are not doing okay. And so I'm always there to help make sure that they are doing all right. And then we have an incredible community of Facebook groups, and most of them are for people, not for pets, but it's a really good group. So I have a couple kits that I put together, and these are ideas just because everybody's needs are different. You know, it's depending on where you live and what you're dealing with. The oils that you're going to want to use are going to be specific to you. So one of the basic kits that I put together were these 5 oils. And these 5 oils deal with flea, tick, and mosquito. And then this other kit adds on the lemon and lavender, which you may or may not know that lemon, lavender, and peppermint are the allergy blend. And we use that for our itchy pets. And that is a fantastic, we use it for ourselves and our itchy pets, and it's a fantastic antihistamine. So when they have that systemic itching going on, we can help relieve some of that discomfort with the allergy blend. And then also in this set, I put in Digest-Zen, which is our digestive blend, and Copaiba, which is kind of the essential oil equivalent to CBD. It's got the cannabinoids, and it's very calming, anti-inflammatory. And then I just wanted to make sure that you know that if you have friends and family that you think could benefit from this, I love teaching classes, you know, on any topic. I do multiple class topics for animals, and then we also have the classes for people too, which you know, can be targeted to different topics. And so if that's something that you're interested in, we love gifting you with oils for those referrals. And then there are 3 types of people that come to these classes. There are the people who love to use the oils and learn how to use them, and they are happy with using the oils in their home. And then there are people who learn about the oils and they want to share. Just like when you go to a restaurant and it's really good, you tell your friends about it. The same thing with the essential oils. And if that's something that is of interest to you, it's a really good way to get your essential oils paid for. And then, you know, there are a lot of people who, with the COVID, are at home trying to figure out, you know, how to navigate things. And so there are opportunities to do what I'm doing and what my friends are doing, and helping people with their health, helping people with their pets' health, and earning a really nice income at the same time. So if any of those are of interest to you, we have other classes about that. I just wanted to throw that out there so you know that that is available. And then for this class, I just want to encourage you to do your own research about what is needed for your pet, where you are, and find a holistic practitioner if you don't already have one. Go with your gut. You know, we really are very intuitive, especially when it comes to our pets. We know our pets better than anyone. And then, of course, we can't help it. We love our furry friends every day. So I hope that was some good information for you Kaz. Carol, I don't know if you just joined. I didn't see your account there earlier. Kaz, did you have any questions?
No, understood it all. That's good.
Good.
Thank you. Yeah, I've done a lot of research on essential oils because I've studied naturopathy as well. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's just more knowing more about what you're using on animals because
Right.
it's not really talked about much here in Australia using essential oils for animals. So,
right. It's a very different